Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Stampin' with No. I hope the month of March has been great for you. It's hard to believe that it's almost over with. It's just flown by with lots of things going on. The video for today, I'm gonna be doing a fun fold card, and it's featuring this suite called Match Day. If you've watched my previous videos, I should say, because there was two of them, I show you how to put this mini album or folio together, actually using that suite. And I'm going to go ahead and link it below this video because it'll tie in and it would make a great gift. This plus a card, and the card will match. So let me just show you everything that I'm going to be using for this fun card. And what's great about it is it's a common card, fun fold. It's not specifically unique to this Match Day set. You can basically tie any stamp set to it and it will create a beautiful card. So we've got the die and the stamps, which is called, again, Match Day, and that is on the online exclusives. The fabulous sayings, I'm just going to use the happy birthday. I'm not even sure. This was a product of the month stamp. I'm not even sure it's available anymore. It may be gone, but you can use any stamp set for a sentiment. And then I threw this in. I think I'm going to use it. This is part of the suite. It's the black and white stars. It has it's like a dimensional. It has some give to it. So I think we're going to use that. So let me bring over everything that we're going to be needing. Some stamps. The colors that I'm going to be using is Pretty in Pink. And I know you're saying, wow, that's a girly color. Well, this card's going to go to my granddaughter. She's got a birthday coming up, and she does play soccer. Her first uniform was in that fluorescent pink, like highlight pink. It'll blind you. And Stampin' Up! Doesn't have that color, but she still loves pinks and purples. So I decided to go with the Pretty in Pink. And just a reminder, Pretty in Pink is one of those in colors that's going away. So don't wait till the last day to order this, because a lot of times the inks and the re-inkers go fast. And because it's going away, you know, once it's gone, it's gone. And then we're going to be using the Tuxedo Black. Let's see here. I'm going to use my punch. I'm going to do a soccer ball that does come with a die to cut it out, but I found that the circle punch is a perfect fit. So I'm just going to kind of cheat a little bit and use my punch. And this is a 1 3/4 punch. So let me put that over there. All right, so let me bring over everything I need to make this card. And the fun fold is called Barn Door Fold, I think is the name of it. It's pretty easy to make. Just, you know, just got like with fun folds, you just kind of take your time. So we've got the envelope that I have to decorate. We've got, let me put this over here. We've got some scraps, and this is the Pretty in Pink cardstock that we're going to be using. Now these scraps is just various sizes, so it's whatever you have on hand. And then I went ahead and did some die cutting. And, whoops, this is a metallic, is it metallic? Metallic gold. And then this, I wrote on the back extra because I might need it. This is the grass that is done in Granny Apple Green. And what's great about this particular die set, as you will be able to tell, is you can make the height of your grass as tall or as short as you want, which is really great. So we've got that. Let me put that over there as an extra upside down so that in case we need it. This is the netting. I just used basic black to die cut that. And then the inside is a basic white, and that measures 5 1/4 by 2 1/4. And we'll be doing some stamping on that. The outside DSP, and I just call this DSP number 2 because I wanted 2 different patterns. So this one, which will be on the front, measures 5 1/4 by 2 1/2. Then the inside, I'm just labeling it DSP number 1, measures 5 1/4 by 4. And you know, you can pick and choose whatever color DSP or pattern you want out of this suite. And the cardstock is garden green, and that is measuring this way. So it's 11 by 4 1/4. Okay, so let's do some stamping and let that dry and do its thing, and then we'll focus on that, because there is some things we just need to be, you know, a little mindful of and just kind of take our time with it. So I'm going to bring over the things that we need to stamp, and I need my foam mat. So let's do the inside, and I decided to do the inside sentiment. The outside's going to say happy birthday. I'm not even sure if I said it was going to be a birthday card, but it's a birthday card. The outside's going to say happy birthday, and since it's going to our granddaughter who plays soccer, this stamp set says your biggest fan. And what I think I'm going to do is when I stamp it, when my husband and I decide that it's time to sign the card and get it going, I'm going to handwrite from off to the side, so it'll be kind of at an angle like that. So she's young enough that she'll look at the colors and all of that stuff. So she's fairly new to soccer, absolutely loves it, and of course, you know, has to do whatever her brothers does, which I absolutely love. There's nothing stopping her. So this says your biggest fan, and I'm going to go down a little bit because I plan on covering just a little bit of that. So I'm just going to eyeball it, and about right there. There we go. And then what I will do is when we get ready to sign, I'll put from at an angle just to kind of change it up. All right. So put that aside, and let's see, we need some scrap. Okay, so the scraps. We need a soccer ball. So we got that. That's a well-loved soccer ball. Be nice if there's football, which I know in European this is considered football, but the American version of football would be great. I'd definitely be using a lot of that. So like I said, there's a die that will actually die cut this out, but I found that my 1 3/4 inch circle punch does it, and it fits in there perfect. So I'm taking the lazy way out and popping that, but you can use the die cut. All right, so this, my scrap, is for the outside sentiment. That's just going to say happy birthday. This is another, actually this particular sentiment, I just love the script of it. So it is, it's a well-loved stamp image. I'm just going to go in the middle. It's going to be cut, but I'm just going to go in the middle. And I think that's centered. Perfect. All right, let's see here. And the jersey. The jersey, I'm going to use tone on tone, so it's going to be pretty in pink on pretty in pink cardstock. Link that up, and I know you guys have seen a lot of times when there's a large image, I put the stamp block face up and hold my ink pad to do all the stamping. Inking up, I should say. All right, so nice even press. Cute. And I will definitely use this later. I went ahead and die cut that ahead of time, but this will definitely be used. I don't tend to waste my die cut images. So I think we're done stamping, so get this out of the way. All right, so let's do, oh, I want to stamp this. Let's bring this back over. I want to stamp the shirt. We're not mailing it. We're going to be giving it to her. So I'm going to go probably a little crazy with it, but she's young enough that she'll like it. She won't roll her eyes at me. You know how those teenage kids roll their eyes. She's not there yet. So I'm just going to stamp the shirt. I'm going to use the top part, so right there. There we go. And then I'll just put her name there. I wish that I was able to do real fancy script, but I was not gifted that talent. So, all right, so let's go back to the DSPs. I'm going to go ahead and take this off. I think you guys, and I'll have the measurements listed on my blog. I don't know if I said, but you score this at 5.5. So I am not going to fold and burnish yet because we need to do some cutting. So let me get my trimmer out. Let's see, we're going to go this way. All right. I had to think about which direction. All right, so what we want to do, if you're familiar, let me get my trimmer here. If you're familiar with the barn doors, you know, they open up like this. We're going to cut, this is the front, we're going to cut a slit off. So we're going to go down 1.5 inches. So there's 1.5 inches right here. I think you guys can see. And I'm going to take it and cut it all the way up to that score. All right. If you go a smidgen over, it's not gonna matter. Now, if you want, you can use your trimmer to cut at the score line, but I'm not. I think I'll be okay just to trim it off. So I'm going to go ahead and trim. Now, some people like to fold and burnish before cutting, but I have a hard time seeing the score line. And I don't think it matters what color. I think it happens on all colors. So, you know, the trick here is you just have to be careful. Did I just do this wrong? Let me think here. No, I didn't. I did it right. Whew. What was I saying about the score? You know, some people prefer it folded and burnished before cutting, but I don't. It's just me. All right, so this is the front, hence the barn door. All right, so now I don't have a lot of strength in my fingers, right? And I still need a hole punch because I want to cut a half circle out. So a trick that I found is I'm going to actually punch it twice. It just makes sense to me, especially when you have trouble, because we need to layer this up so it's going to be thicker, right? All right, so I just find the middle, find the center. Center's right here. I'm just going to put a tick mark. And you're going to do this no matter what, because you want to cut a half circle. I just put it, I'm over exaggerating so that you guys can see. That's my center, all right? I'm not worried about it because it's going to be cut away. Okay, now, if you got strength and you can punch double, don't do this yet, okay? Wait until you actually put the DSP on the front, all right? So I'm just going to flip it so I can line it up. So I'm going to get that hole punch again. Not hole punch, circle punch. And I'm going to go in. So since I know where the dot is, that's my center. I'm going to go down about halfway. You don't have to, you know, it doesn't have to be super precise, but you want it at least in the center, okay? If not, it's going to look wobbly-dawed. And I think that's my circle. All right. So much easier. All right, so now still need this. So my hole punch. I keep saying hole punch, circle punch. All right, I'm going to go ahead and glue this like this. So I'm going to glue this down, and then I'll flip it over and line it up and cut that away. All right. So get my glue. I hope that made sense. Surely I am not the only one who has trouble. I've even, oh, I didn't have to put glue on that part. Let me get, since I'm cutting that part away, let me bring this over so I don't get glue on my mat, or on my glass mat. All right, so I'm just lining that up. Come on. All right. I had some glue on there, but that's all right. All right, so I'm going to go back in and line it up, and then just cut. So much easier than trying to cut through 2 layers, because it's good paper. All right, so we're kind of sort of done with that. So let's move on to the inside. Now, you know, you can do same, but I'm going to change it up. And honestly, I picked these colors because those were the ones that were left. I pulled 2 sheets aside because I knew I wanted to make cards. And just process of elimination. This is what was left. Now, I could easily get some markers, my blends, and color these in, but I'm not, because a lot of it's going to be covered, so I'm not going to worry about it. But you can certainly go back and color those. So I'm going to go ahead and add this to it. Now, you would typically, this is smaller, a lot smaller, because I'm going to build a scene here. So I just didn't want to waste. So I'm going to move this down here and then just glue that. It'll be clearer when I put it together. And let's see here. I think that's good. All right, so we got this grass. And the die, I think the die is actually this length, so it doesn't fit, and I wanted to go across. So what I found, just do 2, and then you just cut it. But you want the seam to not show, so I recommend putting it somewhere in the middle, and you won't see it. All right, so I'm going to put that one first, and then I'm going to overlap. That lines up close enough. I'm not too worried about it. And I'm not doing any dimensionals on the inside. You could, but I want to focus on, and I am, just a second here. The DSP being white is a little hard to see. I am covering right to the edge of where the sentiment, the basic white sheet. So where the curve is right on the edge. I hope that made sense. All right, let's see here. Just overlap just a smidgen. I think I got it. There we go. It really is hard to see. I didn't realize that. All right, so this is going to be next, and I want it down here. Let's see. Kind of my thought here. I can bring it down just a little bit. All right, I just need to make sure that it's in the middle. So with this netting, because it's so thin, I recommend just going on the outer. Just put some glue. Could have used the, what do they call it? Is it the masking? No, it's not the masking. There's adhesive sheets you can buy and run it through your die, and all of these netting part would have the sticky, but I don't think about it till afterwards. So, but it's going to stay down. I'm not real too concerned about it. All right, so I'm going to go down, centering it. Let's make sure I can come down just a little bit more. It might hang over a little bit, but that's okay, because I think my extra piece, I'm going to actually use. I couldn't decide if I was going to use it, but since this is hanging over, I think I will. All right, here we go. I like that. I'm liking it. All right. So the reason why I cut that hole out is because the center is going to be right there, so you'll see it, right? And then when you open it up, it's right there. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and let's put this one down. Let's see. I didn't punch it out quite centered. It's a little bit wider, showing more at the bottom, but it's going to be covered, I think. So you want to make sure that you lay that in the center before you really close it. Pull down on it. You want to make sure that it's centered, like so. All right, moving along. All right, so this extra piece that I was talking about, because I wasn't sure about all of this, I'm going to put it right there and just hang it over like that, I think is what I'm going to do. And since I'm not using dimensionals, there's really not that much bulk. Probably the same as if I was using dimensionals. Oops, I'm cover up the bottom of the ball there. All right. And, I did have two other pieces. I cut the cones out and I used Pretty in Pink. So I'm going to put that there. And just, let me make sure. Yep. And just glue those. I saw pictures of her uniform. We've only seen maybe one game because they don't live close to us. But when I saw pictures of that fluorescent pink, I'm like, oh my gosh. So bright. All right, that is on the inside. It's a fancy inside, isn't it? All right, so let's move to the front. Normally you do the front and then you work on the inside, but the inside's really important with this particular fold. So I recommend starting there, but you can start wherever you want. So let's see here. What I want to do, I think I'm going to use dimensional and pop that up. And I'm good with it hanging over. So let me bring over my dimensionals. Now, I hope you like this card. I hope you like the fun fold. It's a great fun fold. It's really not difficult to do. You just, have to take your time with cutting the measurement. But other than that, it's pretty easy. So, and just make sure you're not hanging over. But I'm okay with this sleeve covering up the soccer ball. I kind of like it. All right, and then, we have to have a trophy, right? So I'm going to put the trophy flat. Since it's so narrow, don't want to mess with trying to fit dimensionals on there. And with this metallic or gold, whatever you call it, it shows the creases when it gets bent. So I don't want to do that. Let's tuck that in just a little bit. Well, I guess I could straighten that up. Let me straighten it up. I started to do an angle, but I think I just like it straight. All right, moving along. Now, who would have thought of pink? But hey, it works. All right, so I stamped the happy birthday I want to cut. Trim that up, and I'm going to put that over there. I really like this stamp because it's large. It's, obviously pictures never do it justice, but it's a large font, and I love that. Again, I don't mind it hanging over. It doesn't bother me. There we go. I think I'll do that. All right. And I'm not even sure what the width was of this. I just grabbed scrap paper in my drawer. I have lots of white scrap paper. I don't know if you're like me, but I don't throw even the like small pieces, I don't throw them out because the white I can always find use for. All right. Whew. All right, let's bring over the embellishments and see what I need here. I think I need something maybe over here. I'm thinking the black. I'm going to put the black. So, these are, I think I mentioned in my video when I did the albums, I had mentioned that someone said something about coloring. Well, the alcohol blends don't work. So I don't know about the Stampin' Write markers. They may. I don't have those any longer. But the alcohol blends do not work. So I'm just going to put 1 star right there. And it's the larger one. So I really like how that completed it, I think. All right. This is like super easy. All right. Let's do a walkthrough to make sure. Got my stamp envelope. And then fold opens up, and there it is. And then I'll write the from your biggest fan. I might have to add a little S there, but I think it'll be good. All right, guys. Barn Door Fun Fold, I think is the name. So great card for a girl. Just change the paper. Don't shy away from turning it into a girly color. You know, the pinks don't really go with those shades, but making it work, right? It pops. So thank you for tuning in. I hope you guys have a great rest of the month. And oh my gosh, April is going to be exciting. We've got lots of stuff happening April and May. If you're going to be needing a mini catalog that comes out in May, please shoot me an email. I will be happy to ship out the mini catalog to you. So as always, take care and happy stamping.